Prophet Isaiah talked about difficult times. The northern kingdom had been inundated. People of Israel had been scattered. And now the southern kingdom of Judea was under threat. Darkness all around. Assyria was knocking on the doorstep. Where is our God? Where is their hope? Where is the light? Are there signs? Are there things we can look for? In that darkness, the prophet Isaiah offers these words. Even the wilderness and desert will be glad in those days, Kairos time. In those days, the wasteland will rejoice and blossom with spring crocuses. Yes, there will be an abundance of flowers and singing and joy. The deserts will become as green as the mountains of Lebanon, as lovely as Mount Carmel or the plain of Sharon. There, the Lord will display his glory with the splendor of our God. With this news, strengthen those who have tired hands and encourage those who have weak knees. Say to those with fearful hearts, be strong and do not fear, for your God is coming to destroy your enemies. He is coming to save you. And when he comes, he will open the eyes of the blind and unplug the ears of the deaf. The lame will leap like a deer, and those who cannot speak will sing for joy. Springs will gush forth in the wilderness, and streams will water the wasteland. The parched ground will become a pool, and springs of water will satisfy the thirsty land. Marsh grass and reeds and rushes will flourish where desert jackals once lived. And a great road will go through that once deserted land. It will be named the Highway of Holiness. Evil-minded people will never travel on it. It will be only for those who walk in God's ways. Fools will never walk there. Lions will not lurk along its course, nor any other ferocious beasts. There will be no other dangers. Only the redeemed will walk on it. Those who have been ransomed by the Lord will return. They will enter Jerusalem singing, crowned with everlasting joy. Sorrow and mourning will disappear, and they will be filled with joy and gladness. The image of Isaiah for God's people in need of hope. There is no place, no geography, no place too remote or too deserted for the power of God to touch and bring blossoms out of that place. Even the wilderness and desert will be glad in those days. Even in the recesses of our hearts, our very souls, there is no place too remote for the power of God to bring blossoms. There is no place beyond Christ's reach. No place even for the lame. No place for the poor. No place for the blind. No place for those who cannot hear. No place that is beyond the reach of Jesus Christ. No place. the deserts will blossom and will be glad in those days. In those days, the days of God's kingdom, in God's kingdom there will be no need. There will be a road upon which the righteous will be able to walk without fear. The only limitations will be the limitations of our making. The limitations of our own imaginations, the limitations of our desperation. Those will be the only limitations when God brings bloom to the desert. What have we to fear other than our own limitations? Who can imagine a world where all you can see is sand and dust suddenly coming into bloom? Who can imagine a world where those who are oppressed are suddenly faced with limitless possibilities? Who can imagine those who are sad and depressed being filled with hope? Who can imagine? We can imagine. We are called to be imaginers of God's kingdom. We are called to bring bloom to the desert. We shall not wring our hands in fear. We shall not moan about what is wrong, but we shall look forward to the bloom in the desert. They will become as green as the mountains of Lebanon. There, in those deserts that we can imagine, because we are God's people, there the Lord will display His glory, His very presence, His character, the splendor of our God. We don't know the timetable. It's in God's time. So what are we to think in the meantime? What are we to anticipate and envision? The deserts will become green. Those who have tired hands will be encouraged, as will those with weak knees. Have you ever felt tired hands and weak knees? You see, that's the vision. That they will be strengthened. The eyes of the blind will be opened. The ears of the deaf will become unplugged. You see, that's what we can envision. We have sometimes so little imagination. And listen to this. Those who cannot speak will sing for joy. Imagine that. Those who cannot sing, those who are voiceless, will stand up and sing for joy. We can imagine it because we know Jesus Christ as God incarnate. We have so little imagination. Springs will gush forth in the wilderness, and streams will water the wasteland. Physical wastelands, but metaphorical wastelands too. You see, this is what we can hope for. This is what we can envision in God's kingdom. And who can hope for us those who live in fear. Say to those with fearful hearts, be strong and do not fear, for your God is coming. This is the message of Advent. God is coming to us to be with us, to fill our hearts with nothing but love and joy and peace. Is this Jesus Christ, the Messiah we have been expecting? Or should we wait longer? John, in the darkness of his cell, wonders. John, who had preached that the axe will chop down the roots. You want a Baptist preacher with fire and brimstone? That's John. His expectation was that Jesus, the Messiah, would come and chop down and destroy everything that was evil and in the way of God's kingdom. And as he pondered in the darkness of his cell, is this Jesus really the Messiah? Where's the axe? Where is God's army? Listen to what Jesus says. Go back to John and tell him what you have heard and seen. Pay attention to your senses. I'm going to ask you the same thing this morning. You want Jesus Christ to come? You want the Messiah to show his ways? Open your eyes. Open your ears. The kingdom of God is all around us. Hallelujah. Open your eyes, your ears. The blind see. The lame walk. The lepers are cured, the deaf hear, the dead are raised to life, and the good news is being preached to all. Open your ears. Look with your eyes. Look past the tinsel and the bright lights and look what's behind those. Hear beyond the familiar carols. Hear and see. Because God is there. Notice Jesus uses the present tense. Today, the blind see. Today, the deaf hear. Today, the lame walk. Today, the lepers are cured. Today, here and now. Open your eyes, open your ears, and live in the promise, the fact that the kingdom of God can reign here and now in many, many small ways. Sure, we always look for the big thing. Open your eyes. Open your ears. God is present. God is present right in front of you. As Joyce reminded us this morning. God is right in front of you. Let's give life to the lifeless. Let's give hope to those who desperately are seeking hope. Friends, if we don't do it, who's going to do it? Open your eyes. Open your ears and see and hear what Jesus Christ is doing today, now. Because of you. Because of you. Praise be to God.